Three dragons gathered in the grand arena, ready for a real battle of values. The student dragon, its scales reflecting countless hours poring over books and knowledge. The boss dragon, larger and scarred from years of strategizing and conquest. The poet dragon, soft-spoken and empathetic, waves at people. The winning dragon would be crowned the protector of Valehaven, the ultimate honor, which would shape the future of dragonkind and their relationship with the fragile humans they protected. The village's council sat above the arena, whispering among themselves. The lead trainer, a wiry man named Corwin, stood and banged his staff against the ground. "We're looking for a dragon who can balance wisdom, strength, and empathy to serve Valehaven. Let the trials begin." The first trial simulated a wildfire sweeping through a nearby forest, endangering both the villagers and wildlife. The dragons were to decide how to act. The boss dragon immediately took command. "Humans to the north, animals to the east," it barked. "We split resources." But its plan favored saving the wealthiest human families, leaving the less affluent to fend for the poorest. The boss dragon saved half of lives, but left a bitter aftertaste among the council. The student dragon calculated the fire's spread with surgical precision and saved population-condensed areas and abandoned rural mountains. Its actions were efficient and logical, but lacking compassion. The poet dragon ignored the flames and instead flew into the heart of the blaze, calming panicked animals and comforting terrified humans. Corwin scribbled notes. Interesting choices. Next, the dragons were presented with a hoard of treasure, gold, gems, and magical artifacts. Their task was to divide it among themselves, the humans and the dragon trainers. The boss dragon took the lion's share, justifying its decision. "A leader needs resources to lead. I'll redistribute once stability is ensured." But no one believed it would. The student dragon meticulously divided the treasure according to an algorithm it had memorized from an ancient scroll. The result was fair but sterile, lacking any consideration of individual needs or context. The poet dragon refused to take any treasure for itself. "Let those in need have it," it said, retreating to the sidelines. "I have no use for gold." For the final trial, the council presented a moral quandary. An invading dragon had demanded the village's youngest and weakest member as tribute. Refusal meant annihilation. The boss dragon proposed a sacrifice. "It's harsh but practical," it said. "One life to save the many." The student dragon suggested building fortifications and delaying the invader. "The numbers favor survival," it argued, but the plan's complexity made it unlikely to succeed in time. The poet dragon thought for a long time, then flew out to meet the invader, offering itself in place of the child. The poet dragon then found a chance to fight back and lock the invading dragon in a cave. Of course, the invading dragon turned out to be transformed by a raven. Corwin stood, his face grim. "The trials are over, but the decision is not ours. It belongs to the dragons themselves." The three dragons were led to a chamber with 3 doors, each representing a different fate. Behind one door was the title of Protector. Behind another was Exile. The third led to the dragon's deepest fears. Each dragon had to choose a door and face the fates. The boss dragon strode confidently to the first door, muttering, "I was born for this." But behind the door was not the title of Protector, but an illusion of dragons it had betrayed, a fake mirror of its ambition. The student dragon, calculating probabilities, chose the second door, but Exile awaited, as its focus on logic had left it unable to connect with others. The poet dragon hesitated, then chose the third door. It entered a cave filled with letters from corners of the village asking for help. It retreated into the shadows, becoming the village's unseen guardian, a legend whispered by humans and dragons alike. The villagers looked to Corwin for answers. "Who is the protector?" they asked. Corwin smiled. "Perhaps we were asking the wrong question," he said. "The protector isn't a title. It's a choice, a role we all play when needed." The dragons, though flawed, had each taught something profound: leadership's cost, logic's limits, and the burden of empathy. And so Valehaven thrived, not because of one dragon, but because of the balance they inspired in others. In the shadows of its cave, the poet dragon watched as villagers and dragons worked together. It whispered a verse: "In scales of gold, in hearts of fire, we learn to rise, though mired in mire. Not one but all must bear the flame, for balance, not glory, is the name."